Also, we don't use S's anymore. We say things like CH. So it'll be like chut up instead of shut up.
Shut up!
Which makes him laugh every time.
Wait, why am I like literally like a velociraptor?
I don't know. Is it welcome to Friends Living Well. This is another episode with Ashley, co-founder of Full Living Wellness, stepping in for Nikita, who just had a life-changing surgery that I hope that she probably will. She definitely will.
Wait, so
talk about it on the pod.
We have Nikita here.
She'll definitely talk about it.
Nikita is currently doing this. And this is where you put in the picture that I'm going to send you. Yeah, she's doing this at Wegmans.
Getting sued.
And we miss her dearly.
Yes.
But excited to have Ashley, because Ashley and I love to yap.
Yeah, we're silly.
It's crazy that we weren't friends before this, because I feel like we're very similar in so many ways.
It's so funny because I remember when Nikita signed up for jiu-jitsu, you know, it was a big thing like for her to start and like meet new people. She was like, I met this girl Kelsey. I was like, who is this?
Isn't that always our first instinct?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm like,
who the f-
I'm like peeing on my property. I'm like, yeah, come over.
No, and then we met each other, and I was like, wow, did we just become best friends?
I was like, basically,
are we the same
Nikita
person?
just met the tattooed pink-haired version of me.
I agree. It's so funny how seamlessly we just have conversation.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
And she's so different. Like her temperament is so different than us, but she found the same person.
I feel like just even how we talk about stuff is like so similar. Like when we're acting like crazy and like we're super relaxed,
we become aggressive and then relax and then velociraptor arc.
Man, fucking wow. Yeah. So yeah, I'm really great. I'm really grateful. Yeah, welcome to the pod where you get to hear two therapists talk about therapy and non-therapy stuff. We won't diagnose you because we can't, and we could give you therapy, but not via podcast. Yes. So if you need those resources, you can
go to fulllivingwellness.com.
Yeah, and inquire there. So yeah, welcome to the episode. We don't really have a topic today.
Yeah, we're just gonna kind of go with it, see where the universe takes us.
Yeah, we're riffing, and Tom had a good. He has a couple questions that are queued up.
Tom is gonna be interactive.
Yeah, Tom's gonna be a big part of this episode.
He didn't know that till we
It was his idea though. Are these Nikita's questions or?
Well, who do you think wrote this?
So we're stealing Nikita's idea.
Was this Nikita ChatGPT Nikita, or do we know if this was just like raw Nikita brain?
It could be both.
It could be both.
One or the other. I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't really matter. It was kind of more of a curiosity.
All I know is
that we'll know by how the question is written.
All I know is that Nikita brought it into existence, so I'm calling these Nikita's
Thank you, Nikita,
ideas.
for your service.
Yeah, if we can read it and it makes sense to be said in like a Delco accent, we'll know it's her and not ChatGPT.
Wait. When my family was listening to the podcast, first of all, my mom was listening to the podcast. The first thing she called out was that I was wearing her socks.
Shout out, Mom. Sometimes we're going to wear your socks on the pod.
The other one was she was like, I could tell Nikita's from like Delco or Philly from her accent. And I was like, that's so funny because I don't hear it.
It's funny because one of my friends who's a BCBA, she lives in North Carolina right now, like sent me like a screenshot of like listening to the podcast, and she was like, I love an intelligent ass woman with like a Delco ass accent.
Like
and I was like, it's so good. Her hoagie accent is epic.
Like, get my hoagie.
Just like that.
Cut that out.
No, that's getting boosted.
So we know Ashley's not good at impressions.
Help me.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh my God. No,
Everyone has the same accent that I do.
I'm not good at accents either. I can do one, and it's Bernie Sanders, and I won't do it right now.
That's the most random.
It's easy. It's easy, but I can do a Bernie, but I can't really do much after that.
I can be like, down under. I don't even know.
She can't do that either.
No, that's not good. When I hear my own voice, I feel like I sound like a valley girl.
There's a little bit of timbre to it.
Yeah, there's a Valley Girl-esque, but I wouldn't like put you in that category.
I would say you're like a post like refined Valley.
Post like
Wow.
Wait, a valley girl like in recovery from being a valley girl?
Yeah, one who doesn't sound like an idiot.
I would say that we're just girls. I think you're just a girl.
Just girls trying to have fun.
You're just a girl.
Literally just.
Literally just a girl.
Right. Literally, what do we have on
Yeah,
the
literally
list?
what should we talk about?
Well, let's see what.
We also, when we laugh, we start like eating the microphone.
I've also been like high pitched like tea kettle laughing today the whole time.
too.
That usually happens.
Oh God, I snorted.
That usually happens when I'm like really tired. Like when I'm like sleepy
So
haha
tired.
level.
I didn't sleep last night.
Bro, I was in bed at 7 p.m.
Wait, same, and I still didn't.
I
sleep.
slept.
I was watching
Girl.
Sopranos. I was like, "Am I Dr. Mel?"
She sent me her last text at 7:40 p.m.
Wait, stop.
And an hour
I'm
later,
signing off.
I didn't even say that. I think I just said I love you. And like I was like, I'm in bed, I love you. Also, wait. Why have we not talked about Dr. Melfi on this show? Because I
my
watched
spirit animal.
Okay,
Great
so
question.
first of all, Tom and I call it Prano.
Prano, because
Yeah.
we don't say S's.
Not only do we not say S's, we truncate every word.
Every
we can.
word. What
Oh
do we
my
say? I'm
gosh.
trying to think of another
I'm
example.
rewatching
of
The
that.
Sopranos for the 4th time.
So we're
10 or 11 for me.
So
Love
I
it.
we have not finished it, but I'm watching it for the first time. Okay, so he's getting like live reactions. And mind you, I'm like what, 20 years late? 25 years late?
Yeah, you're really
Yep.
late.
So whatever. So
Wait, I just said that with so much judgment. I was like, you're really late.
You're-
It was on
And
HBO
it
when
was-
we were 12 years old.
yeah, like I
so-
remember my parents watching it. when it would come
I
out.
didn't have HBO growing
I never
up.
had
My
HBO.
parents didn't have like
Oh.
HBO money.
Sorry.
Well,
And here's the Valley Girl.
my dad worked at a store called Wall to Wall, which is an electronics store.
Okay.
From the window to the wall.
From the window
From wall
to
to
the
wall.
wall.
Did you just make that up?
I feel like I'm at like an 8th
Yeah.
grade dance.
Yeah, us and Lil John made that up.
So
and the
we
Yin
had a
Twins.
device called a black box, which
Like the thing they put in airplanes that mysteriously gets lost every time there's a
no,
big plane
they were
crash.
they were a highly illegal device.
Wait.
And you could basically steal
Oh.
premium cable channels with it.
Oh,
Fuck
wait,
yeah.
yeah.
I love your dad.
We had
I
we
love
had-
him. I don't even know him.
for a little bit. We had HBO, Cinemax, and Showtime.
Ooh.
Oh, so you were seeing like titties at like
Yeah.
a young age.
I could have, but I didn't.
Oh.
Eventually, it was just Cinemax and
Boring.
Showtime.
Boring.
This episode is rogue.
Yeah.
It's funny.
No, I want to talk about
Talk about Dr. Melfi.
Is so wait. So today
she
I was
drives
watching
me
it.
fucking nuts, bro.
Yes. So it's so funny because this morning I was watching it before I came here, and I was just sitting there, and this is like the 4th time I've watched it, and I'm like deep into the like seasons, and I'm just like, this concept of this show is so good.
Yeah.
It's
Like
so
this,
well
the
written.
most traumatized, complex person in therapy. I'm like, I can't.
It is I do think it's a very good depiction of like pulling back the layers
Yes.
of like a traumatized individual who's like not even aware, like it's like that somatic shit, right?
Yes.
Like Tony's not even aware. Like, why would his body be responding that way? Like,
the
why would
ducks?
he be having
Yes.
a panic attack with ducks and
It's so crazy.
charcuterie and like like all these other
Cold
things?
cuts. Think about the fact that
That
David.
gabagool.
Think about the fact that David Chase wrote this show almost 30 years ago.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, that's also, it's like that. It's just so interesting.
So I think it's like an interesting, it is really interesting, but I think the thing that is like, when I was first watching it, I was having these like visceral reactions to Melfi because like how many times she crosses that ethical line.
yeah. And
Like-
she's obsessed with Freud, and I'm like, aren't we over this shit?
I'm like, why doesn't that get a real bad name? I'm
Yeah.
like, we shit on
Can we-
ABA. Can we bring that back to Freud and his fucking weird, fucked up psyche?
And were they shitting on Freud in 1999
No.
No.
or 98?
I know.
when
We
it
need
was
to
filmed?
remember that it's like, yeah.
But still, but anyway, like
I don't know.
Just something to consider.
it was probably of the time. Like it was
Yes.
probably relevant, but I think just like the ethical boundaries that she repeatedly crosses with
Yes.
Tony.
So
like,
if you're watching that show and you've never been in therapy, don't let that discourage
oh my
you.
God. Like I was watching this and I was like, this is why people have all of these like very erroneous, like, preconceived notions about like what therapy is. They're like, they might think that it's okay to like make a pass at your therapist, and they're gonna like keep seeing you, and like,
well, even like the room setup of her office is very cold.
It's very cold, and she's like, and
she's
it's
very far.
She's
him.
far from. Yeah, it's very interesting.
I'm so nuts. I like watch this. I'm like with my therapist brain.
No,
right? Like,
I do
Tom's
too.
like, yeah, it's dark.
It's dark. It's and she's very she's not very empathetic.
No.
She's confrontational, which confrontation can be helpful in therapy, but there's a line.
Give and take.
Yes.
And I think that he is the type of person that like benefits and respects confrontation, like culturally.
Wait, are we like, is this like a case
well, I'm gonna psychoanalyze
Tony?
Sopranos, because I think that that's like a really good way to like kind of speak how he speaks, right?
Yeah.
But I think that like he also is dying for like a mother figure, and he's dying for like a positive, empathetic, like, female relationship.
Yes, and women are always falling in love with him, and she does a good job of being like, no,
absolutely not. But that's also like, it's when you get to the later season, I really started to enjoy it then, was when like he was romanticizing their relationship, and it was such a good idea, like, way to illustrate how he has never had a positive female relationship that wasn't like sexual
and this
in
happens
nature.
In therapy, I have had clients in the past that have had challenges with women, and especially, men that have had challenges with women or trauma from women. And a lot of times, sometimes what can happen is when you're working with a female therapist and you make them feel safe and seen, there become confusing feelings of, am I attracted to this person? Or am I just feeling safe from this person?
Exactly. And I think that he misinterprets that relationship. That's his thinking face.
Good.
I think he misinterprets that relationship often. And then I found it so, again, the writing is so good. I loved how after this relationship was misinterpreted, he then tries to go and like have a positive, like, non-sexual relationship with Adriana.
Yes.
But then it kind of gets a little
weird.
hairy.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was so interesting, where he was like, oh, like, you're right. Like, I only have positive relationships with women when, like, I'm having sex with them.
I don't have friendships. I don't have just, like, neutral relationships.
I don't know how to interact with a woman unless I'm courting them, basically. So I loved that. Me too. I loved that, but I also like highly criticized Melfi. Like they should not be seeing each other. Like she should have passed him, ended the
and
client.
And she also like breaches confidentiality. She tells
1,000%
with her therapist.
Yeah. Well, no, not
with her
not
friends.
In that, with her friends,
the neighbor. Yes,
because part of therapy too is also making sure that you have like a senior person that you could talk to and get case consultation
so you
with.
Can do that.
Yeah, so that is allowed.
Yes.
As long as that person is also agreeing to like confidentiality. It would be like me or Ashley talking with Nikita, or me just talking with Ashley like about a client.
Yes.
She's your Kupferberg.
Is that his name?
Yeah. Oh my god. Elliot, her therapist.
Oh. Yes. So that's our take on the Sopranos.
So I do think that the Melfi relationship is inappropriate, but it is a really great show. Well-written show. So what season are we in right now?
6.
Yeah, so we're getting close.
That's what I'm in.
We're getting close. We should watch some of that later today.
Sure. I'm gonna watch it too.
We're in the first half of season 6.
Yeah. So if you're a therapist, watch The Sopranos and psychoanalyze Melfi and
all the characters and Christopher. Paulie Walnuts. I can't.
Yo, I love Paulie. I love the way he points. It's always like
he's like.
Oh, he does
Get
that.
Get over there.
I was doing the show. Do you want to bring up the Nikita question?
On the list?
Yeah.
Because
where should I start?
Our content.
I need to be put in jail.
Talking points, segments we can include.
Yeah, give us
future topics.
Give us a word. Give us a topic.
I liked that question that you were reading before I interrupted you. And
which one?
And was like, hey, let's start the episode.
I feel like you could just throw something at us.
But okay, yeah, you can read whatever.
Is there something helping you grow right now? Music, a book, a hobby, a relationship, a memory, a goal, etc. anything helping you grow?
That's such a good question.
I know. I'm like, the growth never ends.
I think a lot of things help. It's hard to nail down one specific thing.
So I have something to say.
Yeah,
and this might be very vulnerable. I don't know how you feel, but what helps me grow? You're like, perfect.
Do it.
What helps me grow as a person and a therapist is also being in therapy.
I love that.
Let's normalize therapists being in therapy.
Yeah. Yeah. In what ways do you feel like that's helpful?
I feel like it's helpful because it helps me remember that I'm also a person and I also have challenges and I also need a space to work through things. So I feel like that's something that helps me a lot.
Yeah.
I also feel like another thing that is really helpful for me is exercise.
Oh my God. I agree.
Yeah.
I think that's something that always really centers me.
Yes. Being outside.
Yeah. I went through a period where I wasn't able to exercise when I was really sick and I couldn't exercise for like a month and I was like not well. Not well. But I think exercise, that always I think grounds me. It helps regulate me. When it comes to growth,
I'm trying to think of growth.
Yeah, that's a really tough one, but I think I would say probably my relationship with Tom. I think that's a big source of growth for me because I learn a lot about myself and how I operate in having to like communicate and interact with him. And I feel like he does such a good job of accepting me in my insanity that like I am like, oh, like this is who I am and it's okay. And it's okay to be frustrated. And so let me bring this, therapize me. Okay, really quick.
Okay, go.
Well, actually, I kind of
I love how we're like, okay, go.
I kind of therapize myself and I feel like I've kind of figured it out. But I had a situation last week. My mom came to visit, which was so nice. But my tub was broken. My tub was not working. And something about fixing things in my home makes me completely shut down. I get so frustrated. I get like so like I can't even begin to problem solve.
World is over.
What are you frustrated about?
I think it comes from feelings of incompetence. Like I feel like I don't know what to do.
Can I spitball an idea too?
And I don't know how to do it.
The newest therapist.
When I was talking to my mom about it.
Yeah.
Because she was like, why? I was like, well, when something goes wrong, she feels responsible for this house. So immediately, what do I don't know how to fix this thing. Who do I have to call? That's going to cost money. I can't handle this right now.
Yeah.
And then you just start
like
to spin.
overwhelmed. Like it feels like the initial, the
and
outward emotion is frustration. The actual emotion is overwhelmed.
And then it brings me to like, it brings up some abandonment feelings because when I bought this house, my dad told me like when I bought this house, my parents were not supposed to have moved yet. And so when I bought this house, like my dad was like, I will help you with all of these things.
So that was the expectation.
Yeah.
Are we just like opening up?
No, this is so real.
It simply is true.
Those.
It's simply true. And I feel like I get so frustrated and then I feel like lonely.
Well, it's a reminder of like
I want my parents to be here and I want my dad to be here.
I need help.
And I want my dad to take care of me in this way.
Yes, it's I need help.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's so funny to me because I feel like I try to be a problem solving person, but in those situations, I don't even begin to problem solve. I get like
you flip the table over.
No, I struggle with getting overwhelmed too.
Because like it's so the silly thing about it is that like the issue was the water running. The knob was broken and I needed to replace it, and the water was running, and so but I didn't problem solve enough to even look to see
it was just automatic no.
It was an automatic no. I don't know how to fix this.
You remember what you did?
to see that I could turn off the valve to the thing, which would have solved the problem.
Exactly.
But I just like
You wanted to
She
shut down,
went right
freeze.
to the basement and shut the whole water
the
off.
whole
of
water
house.
off, and I was inconveniencing myself when I could have just looked at the
You're
thing.
like, now no one will get water.
Yeah.
Although, yes, that does also solve the problem. Then you also can't use your sink. You can't flush the toilet.
Yeah, so it added a lot of stress, but it's just something like I learned a lot about myself in that
that
situation
moment, yes.
because I said to him, I was like, I don't know why I'm so upset. I was like deeply
And that's
upset.
where relationships can be so helpful with being like someone to be like, let's take a look at what's happening.
Yeah,
here.
and what was so funny, and I didn't tell you about this moment, Tom.
I'm gonna charge you my session rate.
I didn't tell you this moment, but we were in Lowe's and we were looking for stuff, and I was like, "We're not gonna find it. It's not gonna be here." Like, so I'm just like,
You're like in a bad place.
I'm mentally in a bad place. Tom is in another aisle,
As usual,
as usual,
Hiding.
wandering.
wandering, trying
Meandering.
to solve my problem. where I'm like, this fucking sucks. It's never gonna be fixed. He fucking finds like a giant thing of like PVC pipe and he blows into the PVC pipe and makes this like
First of all, she's one aisle over
Wait,
from
like
me.
he's calling you, like,
So
we could
That's
see
exactly
each
what I
other
did.
through. There's a PVC
his
pipe,
mating call. He's like, "Aw."
and he makes this. He blows into this PVC pipe, and I'm like, "What the fuck is that?" And I look over, and he's just cracking up. I start cracking up, and I needed that moment so bad.
Yeah, you need someone to just kind of like take you out.
And
like,
that is what
like,
my mom
enough of
said.
this.
My mom was like, and that is why you love him because
Yes.
he takes you. You need a person like
That's
that.
where the growth is.
was
Surrounding
so
yourself with people that do that.
Yeah. So I would say that's my answer.
Wait, I feel like that's my answer too.
Isn't that really nice?
Yes, I feel like it's.
I
So
love
true.
him so much. I love you.
Aw,
Love you too.
I love you too.
Oh my god, I love you. Ew.
We're so gay together. Isn't it funny, like the juxtaposition of our brains too? Because when something goes wrong in the house, your brain does that, but mine goes, "Where's the water coming from?"
Yeah.
How do I fix it?
I bet I can take that off. I
He's-
bet that's a gasket or something.
He's really good at that. Like he's good at those problem solving
shows
things.
how people respond differently in like certain situations.
Yeah, but then when it comes to like organization and like remembering stuff, that's where he
I'm not very good at it.
can't problem solve that
Yeah.
at all. He's
I
like
definitely can't problem.
he's like
solve
my
it.
brain just can't do it. And I'm like, but we can train your
I
brain
can
to
try.
You're like, and behavioral.
And yeah, and it's funny because we did it with the podcasting equipment. He was keeping podcasting equipment in all these separate areas of his house and forgetting all the pieces. And I was like, well, why don't you just keep all the
That's
pieces
something I would do.
where they live? So if they all live in the studio, then
You're like,
just
aha.
keep everything there. And damned if we don't both have headphones and a producer mic and all the stuff that we needed today because he organized
Put it
the
in
stuff
the
a little
bag.
bit
Thank you,
differently.
behavior analysis.
Functional contextualism.
Just like what happened with the gate.
Yeah, he fixed my gate. My gate got broke, and he fixed my gate.
You have a cute gate.
I like my little gate.
Do you have another question from
Yeah,
from
good.
Mr. Tom?
Throw another question.
What else we got?
I feel like that question we were like, we don't know how to answer this.
No, I think it was a
did?
good one. It's a really good one because I think relationships do help us
They
grow,
help you
and I
grow.
think that a lot of people that feel stagnant in their lives might not have like fulfilling
You have
relationships.
to reflect on the people that you're surrounding yourself with.
1,000%.
That one I'm not ready for.
Ooh, he's
True.
not ready.
Sounds like we're not ready for
Yeah.
it either.
Well, it requires like getting like evidence together first.
Oh, yeah, no.
It's like analyzing true crime, like.
Oh.
Oh
famous
my
cases
god,
and
that would be
stuff.
super fun to do.
Let's see.
I'm coming back for that episode.
Oh my god, we should analyze the Gabby Petito case because everybody's talking about it. They just did like the
That's so
documentary
crazy.
and stuff.
Let's see. Who do you most enjoy working with and why?
Like in terms of clients?
Sure.
Yeah, that's a good
Or like
question.
who's a favorite person that works at Full Living Well? No, I'm just
Sure.
Ashley's like, tell me who's your favorite. Is it me or is it Nikita?
do it.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good
That's a great
question.
question. I have an immediate answer.
Okay, go.
Like enthusiastic learners.
Yes, love that. Like people who want to be there are ready to do the work.
Parents that come to me with questions.
Yes.
That sit there and like really absorb what the conversation, like are real active participants.
I love that.
I absolutely love working with parents like that. I just did an intake for a family, and like we were just cracking up, like we were laughing, like we were having such a great conversation.
They wanted to be there, they were ready.
Oh yes, very ready, very open, really seeking out information and like taking it for what it is. So like I'll always be like, hey, this is my perspective, this is one piece of the puzzle, I will give you what I understand and know, and then you take that and you decide what you want to do with it. I love families like that. I love people like that are coming and they're prepared
and they're ready.
Yeah, they just want to do it.
I feel like that. I like when people come in with that energy where they're like ready to go. They're ready to commit to the process. I feel like people don't understand that showing up for therapy doesn't mean that you are going to make progress. Like you can't just show up. You have to like actually do the work. So people who are committed to doing the work and are committed to learning and also committed to challenging themselves, because a lot of times I'll have people, I'll be like, outside a session, I want you to try X, Y, and Z, and it might be uncomfortable for you, but you need to challenge yourself, and people that are ready to do that. I also really like working with people who have like relational challenges. I don't know. I love like that, like relational.
Does that kind of get your brain going?
I'm like,
Yeah. I really like working with kids that have higher support needs.
Yeah.
Because I think it just gets more complex.
Yeah.
And I think that's like a very misunderstood and underrepresented population when we're talking about support. And I think that not everybody can like do it well. I love working with high support needs kids, because I think that a lot of the time they've been failed by a lot of people.
And it's so sad.
Yeah, and they deserve like excellence.
100%.
100%.
Like that patient we were talking about before recording today.
Yeah. Slipping through the cracks.
Just a little example.
Yeah, that is an example. Yeah. No, those are I liked that question a lot.
You were fired up about that.
I feel like I'm also an age range person. I've started realizing there's an age range that I'm really enjoying working with right now.
Yeah.
It's like that late 20s, early 30s.
Interesting.
Specifically with women, because I noticed that is an age range that is very challenging for people, because you are an adult, but you're not treated like you're an adult, right? So people are asking of these, like, you'll probably have your first job, you'll probably have your first very serious relationship. Yeah. You might, live with a partner for the first time. And especially for women, what I notice is there's a lot of pressure of getting married, having children, having your life figured out.
Yeah.
Also, your friends are in all different places. You might have a friend that has a kid or a friend that's married. You might have the single friend. So I feel like it can feel very lonely and isolating and confusing.
Yeah.
So I feel like I really like working with people in that kind of like self-discovery.
Yeah, it's like a big transitional phase.
So much comes up, and I think it's so interesting and such an opportunity for people to figure out who they are and how they want to live their life. And I feel like that's a lot of the work that I do, is like really helping people move towards living more in alignment with their authentic selves.
I love that.
So I feel like that's like, I really love that.
I love that. That's such a pivotal phase.
Yeah. I'm also like, I've been there and I'm literally there.
So. Yeah. No, so you can like walk the walk and talk the talk.
I just feel like it's so relatable. It's just like.
So, you're so right, because so many of my friends, I'm thinking of one friend in particular who is like, feels so much pressure to like, I should be somewhere else when I'm not there yet. Yeah. And like so much of our conversations, I'm like, your journey is your journey.
You're fine.
Like, you're not missing out on anything. Like, would it be nice if you were married? I guess, but like.
Well, then the question is like, do you even want? Well, the question. Then I like always bring up the question of like, okay, so you're feeling pressure societally or whatever to have or do or be in this place. Do you even want that?
Yeah, I think that very much comes from a place of maybe not knowing like who I am or what my values are.
I love doing that. I love doing like the self-exploration.
I like that too, and I really like being able to have conversations with families about like figuring out, when you're working with a high support needs person who's not neurodivergent and maybe is nonverbal, it's hard to figure out what their values are
so
because
hard.
they can't tell you. And so a lot of it is relying on like externalizing behaviors and
Yes.
just noticing
What
patterns.
they're gravitating towards, what they're doing.
And I had a conversation the other week where they were saying like, oh, like, you know, my child doesn't have any meaningful friendships. And I was like, that's really interesting. And I said to them, I said, so like, but what would a meaningful friendship look like for them?
Yeah.
Because what I would think is meaningful
Would look very different to someone.
right.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe this person just wants to like have somebody that they can parallel play with.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't want
that's
to talk.
meaningful enough.
Yeah, and so I think that that's really fun to be able to have like those candid conversations with parents
Yeah,
and
I
kind
love
of
that.
encourage them to think a little bit differently, like that, especially when we're talking about like neurodivergence, that like what our expectation isn't
What
necessarily
we think they should be.
yeah, we project a lot of what we expect life to be
Yes.
like. And that's also a really tough part of working with parents and families is so much of this is like
Changing our expectations.
and grieving this idea of like who I thought this person would be.
Yes.
You know, and accepting that. And so I think that that's another
Yeah, being
that-
flexible.
That's why I like working with families that are eager
Yeah.
for the information, because I feel like it's more challenging for me to kind of like be the person that I'm trying to get acceptance happening.
Yes.
You know, and not that
Because
that's
then there's
not,
because then there's resistance, there's barriers.
Yeah.
It's harder for you to meet the need of the child if there is so much resistance to where the child is.
yeah. So I guess like
Yeah.
have you ever been in a situation like where you've met somebody and you like can tell that they're like not ready for therapy?
100%.
Yeah.
All the time.
Have you ever told that to somebody?
No, I've never said you're not ready for therapy, but there have been moments where I've acknowledged resistance.
Okay.
Like for example, if someone is continuing to come to sessions, you know, for example, let's say like with anxiety and like the anxiety isn't going down and I'm trying to give them tools to help manage it and then they're coming back, they're saying they haven't done it.
Okay.
Then there becomes a conversation of I'm noticing that there's hesitancy
Yeah.
or possibly guardedness to using these tools or applying what we're doing in session out of session.
Yeah.
And then I help them, and then I start to talk like, what is that?
Okay. I like that.
Yeah. I feel like that's kind of like saying it without saying it.
Yeah, that's really good. I think I have a person I'm thinking of that I need.
Well, you can use that approach.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I'll try. Do you have another question, Tom?
I was gonna like, I know I'm not like on the show or whatever, but I thought it was
Oh,
so.
yes, you are.
I thought it was so interesting, like your age range you were talking about. I think I just figured out who I am
Yes.
at like age 30.
Yeah.
And I made a massive career change, and
Yeah.
kind of ties into the question like, who do you enjoy working with? Similar answer is people who are not so much ready to beat down the new guy, but
Yes.
to cultivate somebody's brain and like teach me stuff.
Yeah.
Because I went from like basically scratching and clawing my way through the world of finance with no college degree.
Wow.
I started in restaurants, and then I got hurt, and then I couldn't work in the kitchen anymore. So then I was put in grocery, and then I learned about merchandising, and then I learned about buying.
So it was
And then-
like,
Yeah, natural progression.
And then I went that from there to a couple of credit unions, and I started working with people's money. And then I went from that to being an accountant,
oh my gosh.
accounts receivable.
Is that interesting?
Specifically. And then I saw how much all these fitters were making, because I worked at a place that did fire protection stuff with pipes and things. I saw how much the fitters were making, and I was like, I don't think I should be inside. I think I should be out there.
Like, wait, I want to be over there.
And I remember too, like when him and I were chatting when we were just friends, I remember him saying to me like numerous times, like, oh, looking at another Excel spreadsheet, like just not happy
Yeah.
with what he was doing.
I had a feeling when I left the office for the day, the door would shut behind me at 4:01 p.m. and I'd be like, I didn't do jack shit today. I didn't do a single thing. Meanwhile, like all I did was either work on a presentation or talk to customers.
It just
or
wasn't
clients.
aligning with you.
Yeah.
Like I could do it, and I did it well.
Yeah. But that doesn't
You
mean it's
weren't
what you
happy.
want to be doing. Yeah.
I felt like I was doing nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I got introduced to this trade, and I did like could not be further from where I was.
Yeah.
Like the exact opposite. I went into like a union construction business.
Yeah.
And
he
now-
went from like wearing like button down shirts and like polos
So like lighting that on fire
hitting himself in the face with like a giant lead
Putting on overalls.
lead nail.
the mark from the dig bar from earlier this week.
Yeah, he smashed a dig bar into his face this week.
But
Hot.
But
like,
you were saying that you really enjoy working with
yes,
like people that are willing to train you on the job as the new guy and not just be like, you're a new guy, you suck, you don't know anything.
I love that. That's so important.
because like the idea is like it should be, and it's more starting to lean this way now because younger people are starting this, and the old guys who are like that are retiring.
Yeah.
And there's journeymen who are teaching us things because they know they want to grow the trade, and they don't want people to
Yes.
quit because they're just mean to you.
It's a new
Yes.
era. It's like we're the new era of therapists that are
Yes.
like, hey, we're gonna emote in
Yes.
we're going to have pink hair and tattoos
Yes.
and like
All the-
curse
yeah.
during sessions
Yes,
and
I
like
do it all the time.
and like let's be people and let's kind of shift the narrative
And
about
let's treat each other like people.
yeah.
Yeah. Like the most experienced, like best guys to work with now are like 55, 56.
Yeah, because they like teaching you.
And like, yeah, they've been in the trade for going on 30 years, and they know everything. They can fix anything, and it's very inspiring to me,
Yeah,
too.
they're excited
Yeah.
to teach you. I
Yeah.
love learning. I'm
Well,
so
and I
nerdy.
love teaching, so that's
Yeah.
like another reason why I like
I'm excited
the
to
work
get into
that I
that
do.
role. Like I've never supervised anyone, but I'm so excited.
Oh, I love supervising.
Yeah, that's what makes me want to go to work.
Yeah.
It's
Is
exciting.
being able to learn stuff and put something together. We walk away from a building, I'm like, I put that
I
up
did
there.
that.
Yeah.
Wait, that was so beautiful. Tom, thank you for sharing.
Sure.
That was beautiful.
No
I love when
problem.
he-
I know.
involved.
I know. He's got a really smart brain. He likes to problem solve.
I love how he's
Yeah.
like, I'm not part of this podcast. I'm like, you're the reason.
You're
this is fun
literally
to
the
me."
yeah, that was
You are.
Did you hear? I was like, that's the stupidest thing you've ever said.
Someone the other day was like, how are they doing a podcast? I'm like,
Him.
Kelsey's got a guy.
Kelsey's got
I've got a guy.
It's so funny. I was talking with somebody at jiu-jitsu who also has a podcast, and they were telling me like they only like do specific things, and I was like, yeah, I don't gotta worry
You're
about
like,
all that.
can't relate.
Can't relate. My boyfriend does it.
Yeah. Just like, yeah.
That was good. Well, we're almost at like the 40-minute mark. Do you think you want to throw maybe like one
One
final
more?
Like,
question?
one more.
Let's do a final.
I'm so happy we were able to do this.
Ooh.
This is perfect. Because
Perked up.
we
Did you notice when he was kicking his feet in the air when he was
gets
really excited?
I know, it's so cute.
the first episode we ever did with Ashley, we kind of got into how you got into this and how
Yeah.
you got started, but I don't really know much about you.
Yeah.
What got you
How
into
did you-
BCB
wait.
behavior analysis?
Hello.
What do you mean? I thought that we done.
Wait, you're
Here, well, the question is,
Okay.
like, when did you realize this is what you wanted to do?
Oh, that's a really good
Oh
question.
yeah.
Like we.
Oh, I have like a visceral memory of it.
Me too.
Oh, we talked about this like first episode ever with Nikita.
So give the people like a good
Yeah.
little summary of that.
I have a very visceral moment that I remember. I always wanted to help people, and I was getting my undergrad degree in psych, and I didn't really feel like I was good at anything.
Pause.
What?
Why did you go for psych?
Because I think I wanted to help people. I think
Okay.
that I wanted to be in some.
It's like one of the, you're like, I wasn't good at anything. You're like, those who can't teach do therapy.
Yeah, yeah. I just like I think I. And the
was
more
interesting to
the
you.
more I think about it now too, like knowing my mom and being able to like better know who she is as a person and see how she interacts with her world, like it is completely unsurprising that I went into a helping profession. If you ever meet my mom, you will get it. So I think she planted that seed in me, and she like, and this is not quick. Sorry,
You don't
Doesn't
need to
have
be
to be.
quick.
but
People like her mom don't exist.
I know she's literally a saint. Yeah, she raised us always. So my mom is very religious, and she is the epitome of what most Christians say they are.
She is a Christian.
Wait, I did not know this.
Yeah, and so, and I mean this in the most positive way.
Yep.
Like she truly
gem.
emulates all of the values
faith,
that
love.
Oh yes.
Service.
She is she is in service to so many people. And so I think that she really instilled that in us. And part of my childhood was actually we went on mission trips to third world countries. So like we went to Honduras, and which is, it's so funny. I was watching Love is Blind and they were going on vacations in Honduras, and I was like, this is really fucked up.
I'm like, can we get like a wider view of what's happening outside of the hotel?
Yeah, for real. So yeah, I went on a couple mission trips. I went to one mission trip in South Carolina where we worked in a shelter with unhoused people, like serving food and like just, things like that. But when we went to Honduras, we were like building houses and we were doing all these things. And I got to like really see poverty. I had never seen poverty. I'm like very lucky to have lived like a very cushy, life where I've never had to worry about food, or I've never really had
like seeing true poverty.
Like I'm talking like we went to, I can smell it when I think about it. We went to the dump, which was piles of garbage, and people were living there and they were eating food.
Oh my God.
And we went to the dump to give them food that like we had partially eaten. Picture a shack.
Leftovers.
Picture a shack built out of garbage. And children coming to your van and being like, please feed me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Like, so and I think that was like a very pivotal
perspective
for my development to like understand it. And I think the amazing thing about those mission trips specifically is I think there's a lot of criticism about like, oh, white people going to Africa and like doing this shit and like not actually doing anything to be sustainable. Like they're just like going and like giving and then leaving, right? Like, but this church we were associated with literally like was building a medical center there.
But also like, and, like you're contributing.
Yeah, you're contributing. So that was like I think that was very pivotal. Plus like my mom being my mom, I think I always just wanted to help. I wanted to like be in some type of helping profession. I didn't know what that looked like.
Back to what you were talking about. You went to school for psych to hopefully help.
Yeah.
So the moment was what?
When did you turn to BC? When did you go
behavior.
from... Yes.
I took an abnormal psych course in my undergrad, and they had a visiting speaker who actually was a doctorate level BCBA, who talked about autism and neurodivergence, and their partnership with they helped create like a local nonprofit autism agency, like an ABA therapy center. And so, like I said, I went there and I volunteered.
And you loved it.
And I didn't feel like I was good at anything, and I was going there and I saw the progress that my kids were making, and I remember just like it just felt like it clicked. It was that thing that just made sense.
This is the moment.
It just made sense.
It's so crazy when that happened.
And I was like 21.
I felt very similar. No, I like felt very similar. Like I always struggled with figuring out what I struggled a lot. Like I was always a good student, but I always had to work really hard.
Yeah.
Struggled a little bit in school, and I was like, I don't really, like, everyone knew what they wanted to do and what they wanted to be. I'm like, I have no idea.
That's how I felt.
And then once I started doing it, I was just like, this feels natural. And also I feel like being in my own therapy, like I was in therapy like as a kid growing up. I feel like I remember like thinking it was really interesting and cool. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wait. And it's so funny because the other day I had a dream. I kept having dreams. This is like kind of random, but I kept having dreams about my therapist that I had when I was like probably from 16 to like 23. I had the same therapist. And she's like in her, like, she's probably in her 80s now, maybe 70s now. But I kept having dreams about her. And the other day I texted her randomly, and I let her know that I am a therapist and I own my own private practice, and that
that's so beautiful.
The work that we did together like inspired me.
Oh my God, did you cry?
Yes.
Ew,
and she asked me to get lunch with her.
Shut up, really?
Yes, and I'm going to. And like,
oh my God, I love that.
I know. Wait, now I'm.
Yo, that is why we do this shit.
Wait, and I feel like I'm like that. Bars. Yes, I feel like
that full circle.
I'm like, it was so. I was like, maybe she won't answer. And I said no. I was like, you might not remember who I am. She was like, 100% remember who you are.
I remember exactly who you are.
She was like,
I remember
so
your
glad
middle
you're
name, bitch.
stable. Yeah, she's like, I'm so no, she actually
She's like, I'm really happy.
where she said some really funny stuff. I was like cracking up. But I was like, yeah, I'm a therapist. I own my own private practice. She was like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you. I was like, the work we did inspired
did that just like
me.
heal a piece of you?
It did.
Wow.
And it made me think like, and I've been saying to my clients coming out, like transitioning, I'm like, tell me in the future if anything big happens. I want to know.
Yeah, we think about you guys.
I think about you.
We never stop.
I know that was random, but it also felt like it was like,
that's
random,
so
actually.
real.
Yeah, like,
but
I
it's
just-
it's why, and I think it's what's so interesting. At first, for me, it was very like mission driven.
yes.
Like it was very much like I want to help people.
Yes.
But as I've grown into it, it's become way more about like intellectual stimulation, but then
Yes.
also like being able to kind of see
relationships.
the ripple effect of
I
like
love it.
of like who I've taught
Yes.
or
and
like
seeing them grow. Like
and-
I have clients that I've been with for like 3 years. I've seen them, you know, buy their first house, get married.
Yes.
I have my first therapy
Yeah.
baby being born soon.
oh my
Amazing.
god,
my therapy baby. I was like, this
That's
is That's why I said, like,
amazing.
I go, my first therapy baby.
Yeah, no, I mean
It's
it's
a ripple
it's
effect. It's
exciting.
crazy.
it's so beautiful. And I have a friend, her name is Ariel, who is like one of my favorite human beings. And like she was, I was like one of the first BCBAs that she worked for in this one school district. And like to see her growth was like, it's one of the things I'm most proud of.
It's like so exciting. And it's
She
hard.
is like, she's such an amazing person. She's
Yes.
so smart. She should just be a BCBA. I'm like, I will just give you, like, just do
do
it
it.
because you don't need to go to school for this. You're so, you know what you need to know. And it's because she had the desire to
Yes.
learn. She was driven and she still like sings my praises. And like, it's so nice. Like,
love it.
I don't need that. But when she does it, it's so unexpected and it's so
Yes.
lovely that it's like, oh, like, this is why I really like this
is why
job.
I like this, and it's so fun, and it's so hard. Like when we were talking about the termination stuff earlier, like it's so hard. Like I feel like this is the only job and the only relationship where you will know someone more deeply than anybody else, and when the relationship ends, you will never know what happens to them.
Yeah.
Which is
Really profound.
so hard.
Yeah.
And I've struggled with that because I'm like, I care about my clients. I love my
Yeah.
clients so much. And then it's like, you never know what happens. Did they get that job?
Yeah.
Did they break
Yeah.
up with their partner?
The book just closes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Crazy.
And then you're left with like a cliffhanger of what happened. So I always tell them, I'm like, you can always email me. Whatever happens. Because
Yeah.
like, I care.
You get really intertwined in
Oh my
these people's
gosh.
lives.
You get attached.
It's not that like I it shouldn't be taken lightly.
No.
People should not take
and then
that
it's just
lightly.
over. And you're
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah, and then you just don't get to know. And
You
then
never
you
get to
almost
know.
kind of at least for me, sometimes I feel like I can't ask either.
Yes.
You know, you have to come to me.
You have to come to me.
Because
And that's
if
I'm
you-
like, come to me.
I know, but it's funny. I actually got an accidental text from a previous family that I worked with.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like really excited because I
It's
thought that they
so
wanted to talk to me, but it was an accidental
like,
text.
sorry, wrong number.
I know, but they were like, they ended up sending me a couple pictures of the kids,
Wait,
like
it's
grown
the
up.
best. And I feel like that's
was
why
nice.
I texted my old therapist because I was like,
Yeah.
I would want that.
Yeah. Well, there's a picture of a kid I used to work with right over there. Their family gave it to me for like a going away present.
Yeah.
Because they loved working with me and I loved working with them, and sometimes they'll randomly text
so
me.
fun. It's
They
so
sent me a
sad.
video of him. He was just like literally reading a book. Mind you, this kid was like had like he was like saying 4 words that you could
my
understand,
gosh.
and he was like just reading a book. And I was like
I love
crying,
that.
crying, tears. Yeah, so we clearly love what we do.
We just started crying.
We just started crying. I know now. Do you get it? Because Nikita and I are always making eye contact on this. Like we're about to cry right fucking
I'm like,
now.
stop looking at me.
Stop it.
But yeah.
But that was
Perceive
good.
me.
Yeah,
That was
don't
it.
perceive me.
So,
Well, that was
yeah.
really good. I think it was a little bit of a loose episode. But sometimes
We
we
need
need
that once in a while.
We're
Yeah, we
loose ladies.
we somebody is.
I kissed
You
a
saw
lot
the
of dogs
you saw
over
the
here.
dogs and Ashley.
I'm like, Give me some sugar.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining another episode. Ashley's obviously going to be on in the future. Wish Nikita well as she recovers from her surgery.
Yes.
She's doing great, by the way, if anybody was actually concerned.
She's okay. Nothing like is seriously wrong with her.
No, this is very positive. Very positive.
She's actually bouncing back in a really good way.
She's killing it.
She's doing better than me.
And it's about to be a Skinny Keat summer.
True.
She keeps saying Skinny Keat.
Snatch sister.
And you know what? The day this episode comes out is the day after our anniversary. So happy anniversary.
Oh my God. Happy anniversary. We're going to go to dinner or brunch or something that's going to be really cute.
So cute. We'll keep following along. Peace.
Adios.